Just our mother was looking down and said, behave yourself. Behave yourself.
Well, it's good to have the chance to sit down with the two of you. Would you begin by introducing yourself and your brother? Tell us a little bit about the two of you.
I'll be glad to. First, let us start by thanking you for having us and giving us this opportunity to be together and share with you our history. I am David Cash. I'm Marshall's younger brother. Marshall was born a perfectly normal child. On his first birthday, he actually contracted spinal meningitis, which left him severely, profoundly disabled. At the age of 10, I was 2, he was 10. My parents decided that it was becoming more than they could handle with the two of us. So the decision was made for him to be placed at Central Virginia Training Center in Lynchburg. That was in 1957. He remained there for 57 years. During that time, my parents and I would, on many weekends, go to Central Virginia and bring him home for the weekend, for holidays, for birthdays, special events. As they aged and their ability to handle him became more difficult, the Central Virginia actually had a house that they converted into a residence for parents and family to come and spend the weekend with their family members. And that worked out great. So they spent a lot of time doing that. Our father passed away, and at that point, my mother and I spent more time with him, and she was still able to drive up into her late 70s. She would go with her good friend and her sister to visit with him. She passed away in 2010. At that point, it was pretty well made public that Central Virginia would be closing, and we had to make a decision for relocating. And we were limited on options at that point. And so through a pure chance meeting, I met with my wife's cousin, who was on the board of Pleasant View, and was introduced to Pleasant View and to Nancy, and attended the annual banquet. At any rate, the arrangements were made, contacts were made. He was allowed to come and have an overnight visit on several occasions, and then a short-term 3 or 4 day visit, and then finally a permanent residence was established. It has been a wonderful experience, most positive thing that could possibly have happened. His health has been greatly improved, his general demeanor, his attitude, his lifestyle. He now has a family, where before he was in a dormitory style room with 20 to 30 other males. He now has interaction with other people. He goes to the day program, which is fantastic. He just has a very, very productive and wonderful life. And I owe all that to Pleasant View and the staff. I can't thank everyone enough for allowing him to be 77 years old and have the quality of life that he has. I know, it's very good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Marshall has lived at Lauk House here since coming to Pleasant View. This has been his.
Correct. This has been his only residence. The house was fairly new at that point, and this has been his only residence. Yes. Okay. And it is wonderful in that most of the other residents have remained the same. There's been very little change. So it is a family, and they're in constant contact with each other.
You have mentioned his family a few times now. Would you talk a little bit more about his relationships? How do you see those affecting his life now? What are the relationships that you value in your brother's life?
Well, again, just the being in a home environment, living in a house, having his own bed, having food prepared for him on a daily basis, and having say-so as to what he eats and what he likes and what he doesn't like, people knowing these things, having contacts with the other residents, Sandy and Chuck and Tom, their relationships, their interactions, going to the day program, getting out, having contact with other people other than just being in the house 24/7. Linda and David downstairs, just having contacts with other people, the staff coming and going, and their relationship with him. It is truly a family environment. Isn't it?
What would you like the world to know about Marshall and his gifts?
He is a very, I'd say, loving individual. He makes relationships with people. He recognizes people. He has his own, I guess, moods and actions, and he has his own routine that he very much enjoys, whether it be watching Andy Griffith, or having lunch with his family, or going on outings together. Again, the day program is fantastic, getting out and having contacts and activities. He very much enjoys food. He enjoys being with people. He likes to sleep. He's very particular, I think, about his clothing. He doesn't have the physical ability that he had many years ago and has had as a young adult and an older adult. His eyesight is phenomenal. He recognizes people and what's going on in his environment. And I think that is probably one of his greatest assets, is his ability to be with people and make people laugh and make people smile. He enjoys going out and being in contact with people.
I'm wondering, as you think about Marshall's future, what are your hopes for the future, for Marshall, for his care, for his interactions, his relationships?
I hope very much that he will be able to stay in this environment, that he will be able to be provided the basics that he needs, that he will have the love and the fellowship that he's now having, that his health will maintain, that he'll be able to physically stay healthy and continue to thrive and be a viable part of this family. That is my number one hope, that he will be able to do that. And I feel very comfortable that he will.
What is your good word to Pleasant View about caring, supporting your brother, his housemates, and others in our community?
As I've said, I'm very, very pleased and very happy with the environment, the atmosphere. I just ask that continue, that the clients be number one concern for all, and that of course, being a businessman, the financial aspect be there to be able to maintain this business and this company, because it is a business, maintain this so that in the future, my brother as well as others will be able to thrive and be a viable part of the community.